all more free.
It has been history in the making here this morning on MSNBC. Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome back to MSNBC World Headquarters. I'm Thomas Roberts, and joining me here in New York, Richard Socarides, LGBT activist, writer for The New Yorker, and former advisor to President Clinton. So, Richard, as we heard from the president in the 11 o'clock hour, he talked about the fact that, you know, through his administration, they've done away with DOMA and Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You know, the Clinton administration historically instituted Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and everybody thought that was a major step forward. Could you imagine a day of sitting here like we are now, knowing that DOMA doesn't exist, neither does Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the Supreme Court is affirming marriage equality as a constitutional right coast to coast?
Well, I think you're exactly right. It's not only been a historic morning, but it's been a very moving one, especially for those of us who have been involved in this effort for a long time. And I thought President Obama's remarks were very moving and very appropriate for the leader of our country to come forward and say how proud he was of the country, how proud people who've been involved in this, need to be. It's also quite remarkable. You know, very rarely do we have a decision from any court, even the Supreme Court, where all of a sudden, you know, the moment the decision comes down, the lives of so many Americans change. I mean, you know, the Supreme Court usually deals with rather esoteric subjects. They often don't it's often not a decision that affects real people, but this affects not only the real people involved in the case, not only the real people who live in the states that were at issue in the case, but real people everywhere, real people in those states, in all of those states that don't have same-sex marriage, that didn't have same-sex marriage when they woke up this morning. They now have a different, a whole set of different operative facts. It's a very rare event when the Supreme Court issues a ruling and everything changes in an instant like we're seeing today.
No, I'm getting texts from people, I'm seeing tweets from people, Richard, about how they're waking up and it is a brand new day, literally, for so many people. Different statements that we're getting in for those that are interested in running for the White House run the gamut on the left and the right, with people like Martin O'Malley and Hillary Clinton believing in this as being a victory, and other people on the right, from Marco Rubio to Rick Santorum to Scott Walker and Ben Carson, believing that there is an issue of states' rights being trampled upon. But do you think we've seen the end of the issue for marriage equality at the state level, or do you think that there will be deeply entrenched issues in certain states that have long held beliefs and will try to use religious exemptions around this?
Right. Well, the campaign for marriage equality, which has been the main goal of the gay rights movement for the last 25 years, has been successful. I mean, there's been total success as of this morning, and every state will have to let gays and lesbians marry the person they love, no matter where they are. And I think any state official who doesn't do that, right away, as of this afternoon, is really, it's going to look like very bad form. And I think very few people will resist the ruling. I noticed that some of your other guests just a little while ago said there might have to be some formalities, but I think most states will let people do it right away. But the issue of gay rights will continue in a lot of places, and the issue of gay rights, I think, will be very much present in the presidential campaign. Hillary Clinton, is seeking to try to make it an issue on the left, and she's using it as a point of contrast with Republicans. But I think the statement by Jeb Bush and the statement by Marco Rubio, thought to be, two people sort of thought to be more in the mainstream of Republican thought this morning, would seem to suggest that they are saying, let's move forward, let's respect this court's opinion. I think Marco Rubio used that very term. We need to respect the court's opinion and move forward. I think there are a lot of Republicans who would like to see this issue go away for them, because the most independents in the country, I think most reasonable, normal thinking people in this country want this issue to be settled.
Yes. Richard, thank you, and ask you to stand by. Joining us now is Sarah Kate Ellis, the